Hey Chloe, it's Coach Chris. This video is to help you understand some of the things we're going to talk about with your swing. In your case, I'm going to ignore the metrics. You will get them in an Excel file when I send the email out, and as well as a link to this video. So if there's any questions on any of it, don't hesitate to ask, but I want to focus on some of the mechanical things that I think are holding you back right now, and we need to cater drills for you to fix them. So any questions along the way, jot them down and ask them, and we'll go over them at practices. So a few of the things that we're going to talk about at each stage. Everything looks good in your pre-load and that you've got some rhythm. As I scroll forward here, as I scroll forward a little bit, you can see that you are got a bit of wiggle in your back, a bit of wiggle in your hips. That's all good. And then we are going to get into that loaded phase. Now, one of the things we're looking for when we load is that our weight stays inside of our back foot and that our hands, as we go backwards, move dependent of our body. In other words, they don't go separate from our body on the load phase. And in your case, that all happens pretty well. Okay, so this is where you are fully loaded, and you can see that you are in a good launch position, or a decent launch position anyway, from that load to go forward. Now, one of the things that we'd like to see is as you, and I'm going to back up a little bit here to preload, you notice that your shoulders are in sort of a level line like that. What should happen as we get loaded, and I will go forward to where you're loaded, you can see that your shoulders are still in a nice straight line. Really what should happen at this point is there should be a bit of a change in angle. In other words, your front shoulder should load down so that I can get that good elliptical motion with the bat as I load. So that's one of the things we'll work on with you, is getting that front shoulder in the correct position at load so that I have somewhere to drive off of. So get rid of those lines so you can see what's going on. One of the metrics, I said I was going to ignore metrics, but I'm not going to now, that we look for is what we call early connection. So that's sort of just, as things are getting started, we want to see a 90-degree angle between our body tilt and the bat. And in your case, as you can see in the metrics, yours are all well over 100. So that's not going to give you any bat whip. So at this point, really, the bat should sort of be more of kind of that position as we get ready to start that stride forward. So that's another thing we'll kind of look forward to and work on. Now, let's get into the sort of more important things, if you will, as we go forward. So we're going to go from that loaded spot and we're going to stride into toe tap. So we get to toe tap there. Now, what should be happening there as we toe tap? And we'll back up here for a second. I'm going to draw another line straight down from your forehead down to the ground. So what we're looking for when we get strided, obviously, is your front foot's got to go forward, your back knee goes forward, and your belly button goes forward. Okay, so your head shouldn't go too far forward from that point, but as we go forward and we get to that toe tap position, your head's come forward a little bit, which means you're a little bit too upright. But the biggest thing with you in this case is, as your knee is going the wrong way. It's coming back here, and so is your back foot. So what that's causing is when you start that swing, you're going to be pushing out this way towards the other batter's box, as opposed to going forward towards the pitch. So we're definitely going to have to correct this. And I think this is the biggest correction we're going to make with your swing, is getting that knee coming forward. You start as you stride, and that toe tap happens to close the gap between the back knee and the front knee, and you're actually widening that gap at that point. So definitely something we're going to look forward to, and we want to try and keep that head a little bit more still at that point, and we're going to create a body tilt that's a little bit, really your forehead should be back here at this point, right? So that we got a better tilt on your body. Forward. Okay, now we get to heel plant, and what should happen at heel plant is this is where our hips start to fire. And at this point, my belly button should be facing out towards the pitcher. Your front shoulder's in a good spot. You're out sort of towards second base, but my belly button needs to turn. So your hips haven't started to fire here, and that's partly because of the way that back knee was going at the start of things. So hips start it, then your elbows, then your hands come from there, and your hips are off, which is causing you a bit of a problem. So let's keep going forward. Your elbow slots in a decent position. We're going to get to contact. Now at contact, couple things we're looking for. If I draw a line out from your mouth, you want your back or your front elbow, your lead arm elbow to be roughly the height of your mouth. And in your case, because that back or lead arm is starting to lock out or straighten, it's down a little lower than we'd like it to be. The other part of it too is your body, upper body in particular, has come too far forward of center. So again, we want to have that nice lean back here. So this is where your head should be, and your head's come forward of center. So there's some drills we're going to work on with you with respect to that. Next big thing is we get from contact and we get to extension. So if I draw a line here on your back arm, as we go forward, that arm really should stay on that line. And you'll see with you what happens is not only does it not stay there, but instead of, worst case scenario, going up a bit, yours is coming down. And the reason is you're rolling over the ball at contact instead of getting to extension. At this point, both arms should be fully straight, and we should be trying to get that nice long elliptical swing there. So that's another part of it that we've got to work on with you. There's lots of good things with your metrics, but some mechanical things I think that we can take your metrics way up and help you get more consistent contact and more consistency in your swings. And that's one of the things you'll see when you see the metrics is some of them are all over the map and lots of extremes in between. So we want to try and get a more even spread throughout everything and try and get those numbers a little closer together. So lots of good stuff to work on. Any questions, make sure you ask, and I will, next thing, be sending you a video or sending you the link to this video and the metrics and a sheet to tell you what all the metrics mean. That's it.